Good evening, everyone. Thank you so very much for joining us on our second taping of the Now Talk Show. I am your host, Dr. Nadine Wong, and today we're excited to interview another man of distinction by the name of Alistair Thomas. He has so many great attributes as to why he's here to offer his to express with us how he has gone through trials and how he has overcome into triumph into the now. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please help me welcome on the Now Talk Show, Alistair Thomas. Alistair, welcome and thank you for joining us on the Now Talk Show.
Hey Nadine, how you doing?
I
First
am
of all,
doing,
you know what? Thank you so much for that introduction. Right?
yes.
I should have told my mom to watch. I never heard such good things about me.
Oh, you're just going to go writing there because I noticed in your bio you have a PhD in comics and just making persons laugh. So we're going to do this today. I love it.
Completely by accident. Completely by accident.
So, Alistair, the fact that you brought up your mom, tell me a little bit about yourself in terms of what is the mother-son relationship, and I'm pretty sure you kept the household laughing. So, give me a little bit of background about yourself.
Uh, well, I grew up in the Lawrence Heights area, otherwise known as Jungle, JC,
Okay,
right?
and
And
this is in Toronto, correct?
yeah, man, yeah.
Okay, okay,
It's between Lawrence West Station. For those of you who don't know and keep hearing about Jungle, that's between Lawrence West Station and Yorkdale Station,
okay,
right?
okay.
So whenever you're on the train and you pass between Lawrence West and Yorkdale, you're in Jungle territory. So you better behave yourself, right? That's one. I have a brother, a younger brother, a younger sister. I was raised by my mother. She was a single mother. Sometimes our dad would move in, says sick and tired of being a dad, then he moves back out again. That would happen every now and then.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was pretty good, growing up there. I was really big into, I still am, big into drawing, animation, and comedy,
Uh-huh.
right? Those were my biggest loves. It's not something deliberate to be a comic. It's, you gotta make the best of it when you're getting wrapped across the head for being a wise ass by your mom. You know what I mean? You could either say something funny, you could sit in the corner and cry. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? And the corner was already filled with my brother and sister, so I had to actually be funny about it, right?
So it sounds to me you had a household that had structure. Discipline was very upfront. Is that
It was complete anarchy. What are you talking about? The strongest thing you could do. Structure. I wish.
are you are
It
you
was
saying are you saying that there is no structure?
Oh my goodness! It was just box mode. My mom was like a grizzly bear at a BC stream in trouts, just going around up and down to me and my brother and sister, smack, 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 smack. But it built us. It built us. My mom, you know
Okay.
what? I love my mom, and I know she's not watching, so that way I can say whatever I want. But she really did a good job on raising me and my brother and my sister. We really love each other. We're still close.
Hmm.
And we're pretty smart kids, smart enough to have her not pretty much be too much involved in our lives to know exactly what we're doing. You know what I mean? So
Well, that is it's interesting you made that statement because most person won't look at that decision to kind of love the person and leave them as a positive. Most person will, oh no, I need you in my life. I need you. It doesn't matter, what we're going through. We're family. So that's pretty ambitious that you saw that at an early age and decide, listen, we're going to do that.
yeah, I mean, family is all you got. You know what I mean? Unless you have a crappy family. But my family's pretty good, right?
Right.
Me and my brother and sister, we had to Voltron up against the forces of mom, right? But that's something I think all parents need. You
Mm-hmm.
need some sort of balance. Like me and my wife, we're pretty good with our two boys, right? I mean, I
Right.
am completely for ruling your house with an iron fist. You know what I mean? I am completely for that. And what you end up with kids who will see you in the street and say, "Good afternoon, Doctor Wong. How are you doing, Doctor Wong? Can I rotate your tires, Doctor Wong?" That type of stuff there.
Yes, yes.
right?
Wow, that's really good. That's really good structure, and I love the way how you express it. I love the way how you express it. So, where you are right now, if you were to talk to your younger self when you saw all the other brothers and sisters, as you said, in the corner, you guys are getting hit down as you described, like a grizzly bear. What would you tell your younger self?
Keep your mouth shut more. um, Actually, well, you know what? I guess the best thing I would tell myself, my younger self, and the best thing I would tell my brother and sister
Hmm.
is that persistence builds character and also confidence.
Right.
Right? Confidence was one of those big things. I didn't even know it was being formed,
Okay.
right? But I learned growing up that confidence is built off of accomplishments, not
Ah,
grand accomplishments like Doogie Howser and Tony Stark and graduating MIT at the age of 12. I'm talking like regular accomplishments that you do every time you're tasked to do something. It might be hard, but if you accomplish it, that's another notch in your belt for building your confidence.
right.
Right? And
Right.
pretty soon, when you look back and you see all the stuff you have done, big or small, you have
Hmm.
to go back and say, yo, I've done that. I did that.
Right.
So if I've done like 1,000 things, I accomplished 1,000 things, I could accomplish 1,000 more.
Hmm.
So that's what I would always tell myself, younger or whatever. Keep doing stuff, keep
Right.
challenging yourself, and keep taking it through the end, overcoming it. Be it something really big like passing a grade, with flying colors, or something small like dragging 4 bags of flour, from Food Basics home, you know, something like that. Just keep on doing it. Take your challenge and just keep on going through.
So, okay, so when you were developing your confidence, what type of trials did you go through in terms of recognizing that, okay, this is where I am, but this is where I need to be in terms of getting into a place of stillness or a place of triumph and a place of I'm comfortable with myself? What kind of trials did you go through while you were developing your confidence levels?
Trials?
Yes.
Oh man. Okay, I'll tell you this. When this is something that is okay. When I was growing up, my mother, I love her, but she pretty much judged me based off of my grades,
Okay, your
right?
academic
My
abilities.
academic,
Okay.
yeah. And I was not a good student.
When
I
you say
was
good, what are we talking about? A C
not.
plus, a
No,
A
I
minus,
think I was the first kid in history that got a G grade,
a what?
a G,
A
right?
G for
Yeah.
good?
No, when was last time you heard G for getting a grade?
I don't know. They've been changing all
See,
these
you've never
symbols.
even heard of it before. I'm looking at a G and I'm doing my ABCs. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Is that legal? I felt proud because I was the first kid to get it, but I mean, hey, So, I did something right and wrong at the same time. But I was not a good student at all.
Uh-huh.
And and some of those kids who's like me, they know what it's like. You have to lie to your mom, telling them that they changed the whole report card system. They don't give it report cards anymore, right? The grading system changed. It's all based off of how you smile. So I had to hide my report cards from my mom every year.
Uh-huh.
It never worked, right? I had to hide my report cards along with the belt every year, right? And my mom, she would judge me based off of my my academics.
Mm-hmm.
It got to the point where I was kind of believing it, judging myself.
Okay.
I didn't think I was that much of a smart kid.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, a lot of stuff got stuck up in here,
Oh, like what?
like the general stuff. I mean, don't play Jeopardy with me; you will lose. Like I
Ah.
will demolish you. You know how much fake money I won in Jeopardy? Like you have no idea how much fake millions. 649 has nothing on me for how much
Ah.
money I fake won on Jeopardy. Like, please don't even bother with
So
that.
you're a fake millionaire then,
I'm
right?
a very fake millionaire. Oh my god, I'm a fake billionaire. I'm the fake Tony Stark you'll ever see. I'm like so fake. Black Panther, Wakanda rich. I'm crazy.
Oh, wow.
all off of Big Jeopardy. So the thing was, however, it wasn't until I was around 18
Mm-hmm.
when I was talking to my guidance counselor, and she said she noticed that I was going through it's like a really stupid problem with math, and said, "Hey, you know what? You ever thought that you have a learning disability?" Because I was
Mm-hmm.
18, I was able to get myself tested. I didn't have to go to my mom to sign the permission form.
Right.
She
Mm-hmm.
didn't know. She didn't know better, right?
Yes.
Right. So I took my test, found out that I did have a learning disability, and I just learned differently. I didn't know
Right.
I didn't have a learning disability. I just didn't learn
Le-
like everybody else
That's
did.
right. Right.
Right?
You weren't learning from the box, the curriculum box.
Exactly.
Right. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So the last few years of high school,
Mm-hmm.
they pretty much constructed a custom study
Right.
in which all of a sudden I started appearing on the honor roll. I started getting good grades.
What letter did you promote? Were you promoted to?
What's higher than A?
A plus?
It,
A
well, not
plus?
that low. I'm talking like I was beating the Chinese kids and the Indian kids. I was beating those guys, man. The Chinese kids were like
Wow.
highest, the black guy there. They're like, really? So yeah. If you could beat Chinese and Indian kids, you're good. Right?
Ah, I see.
No
So when you
disrespect
talk
to Chinese and Indian kids watching out there. I'm sorry, but I was the one.
hey, this is where this show is about expressing yourself, so that's perfectly fine. So let's talk a little bit about the dyslexia, the learning challenge that you had. Was it something that you learned in black and white, or was it the reverse? You would see the end before the beginning, or was it a method of the letters were somewhat moving all over the page? Can
No,
you describe that?
it wasn't letters moving all over the page. I keep seeing that. It wasn't nothing like that. It was just some of the information was kind of backwards to
Uh-huh.
forwards. I would read the same thing twice. It didn't click. I guess certain things just didn't also pique my interest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's one thing if you're learning a historical fact or a mathematical equation and such,
Mm-hmm.
but for some people, it gotta have a benefit to you. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yes.
So that's how my learning had to come. They had to find a way to customize, and even to myself, I had to pretty much retune the way how I perceive my world, so I could learn a lot more in
Yes.
my way, which formed me into the guy. Unfortunately, I am. Right?
Oh wow.
I did
So
something
did
when
you
I'm talking to you, right? So
so did you have like any of your friends were they onto your challenge? Were there any kind of person who bullied you, or was there a teacher, who didn't recognize your gift, your special gift of learning? So as a result of that, they kind of made you felt intimidated.
yeah, like my friends in school, they're they don't really care about what kind of grades I got. They're too busy playing basketball, so they didn't really give,
Ah,
right?
okay.
A couple of teachers in grade seven, Mr. Davis.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he's still around. I hope he is. Mr. Davis, he figured it out before anyone else,
Uh,
and he was the first person who tried a customized learning thing with me, and it worked. But
uh-huh.
I thought he just fluked it. And after grade seven, I was just like, well, because I didn't know what it actually was. I just thought
Right.
he was cool.
So
Um,
did he compose it with music or colors or
you know what? Mr. Davis realized that I was a wise ass, and he came to me. He came to me as such. He came to me in that same position. He came
Mhm.
to me in a real practical way of how I perceive things. And like I said, I thought it was a fluke.
Mhm.
And it was the way how he came across to me. He would tell me stories. Not
Ah,
when you have your problems you have to find you have to solve.
yes.
It wasn't problem. They were just stories,
Right.
right? That he'd present to me in a way that was more interesting to me, and then I'll be like, no, that's stupid. It's supposed to happen 38 times, not 46. What are you talking about?
Mhm.
You're right, and he figured it out. And so, but like and he pretty much presented me with my lessons, kind of in that kind of way in which I was able to excel at. So I guess to kind of thumb it all down, um, everybody perceives information in their own particular way. And
Hmm.
you can't really judge someone just because they don't get it the way how everybody else does.
Right.
Now I have a son who's 15, and pretty much I'm looking at myself in the mirror. Well, actually, not really, because when I go to parent teacher interviews with him, and the teachers are saying, "Wow, your son is such a great student," and I'm looking at them like, him, my son, good, okay. I guess that came from Tracy. I guess that came from my wife. It didn't come from me. You know what I mean? But I realized that my son, just like his dad, he is turned on by different things, and I have to pretty much tap into what he digs for him to respond. Other than that, there he's like a regular 15-year-old, just looking down at his device. So I know how to engage him now because I learned how to engage myself.
Okay. So you shared a bit about the trials. So I would like you to highlight the triumph. I get to you are the co-founder of a Soul Image magazine and
Soulful
also
Image.
Soulful Image magazine and also forreal.com. Ah, I'm on that. I recognize that cover.
You are in this, aren't you? Wait a second. Hold on, ladies and
Oh,
gentlemen,
oh no.
because Miss Wong, Dr. Wong, I should say, have written a book that I would like to promote.
Oh my God.
Is it?
This is a reverse interview
This is
here.
a reverse interview here, Dr. Wong. You see what you get when you talk to Alistair? You lose. You lose. Where is it? Where is that
Well,
article?
you have the magazine. This
There
is
we
your moment
go.
to shine.
Here is the. Could you guys see it? It says sex and Christianity together. And there is the lovely Dr. Wong right there smiling. And this is an article we wrote about her book. So if any one of you guys didn't know she wrote a book regarding knocking the boots in Christianity, here it is.
Wow, gee.
Find that in
Please.
the magazine.
So let's talk about the Soulful Image magazine. So you just opened it up. So let's talk
Shameless
about
plugging
it.
is what I do. Shameless plugging is what I do.
Oh my gosh, my cheek hurts. So let's talk about the Soulful Image magazine. You are the co-founder along with your lovely wife, Tracy. Let's talk a
Mhm.
bit about that. Let's talk about how that came about and let's highlight that.
Tracy, okay, first of all, I have to say that my wife Tracy is
Uh-huh.
a straight up trooper because when it came to For Real, um, she became my business partner.
Uh-huh.
And for over 10 years, Tracy has put everything aside to help me build For Real. Because of Tracy, I saw money, people liked my stuff. Tracy was monumental
Uh-huh.
in so much that I've done.
Right.
So it so happens that around, hey, there's my website. It so happens that when Tracy got to the point where she had our second child,
Uh-huh.
she was given a mission by God
Mm-hmm.
to start a magazine to help women who needs to feel more encouraged with themselves, to uplift themselves and such.
Right.
And Tracy told me this vision that she had, and I so wholeheartedly believe in it
Mm-hmm.
that I told her that I promise I'm going to make it the best magazine she'll ever see.
Wow.
Right? She has given me so much of her time and energy. I saw it only fit to give it right back to her.
Wow. So how did the name come about? Soulful Image. How did the name come about? Who came up with the name? Was it co-decision or was it your lovely wife or
Jeez, you're interviewing honestly. You're interviewing Tracy. Tracy came up with that one. I think God hit her with a ray of light on that one. Soulful Image magazine. Like I had nothing to do with it. She told me what it was.
mm-hmm.
I said, sure, woozle wazzle, I got it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she created something pretty good, and I am her creative director.
Right. So how many years has the magazine been around?
we're walking into our 6th year.
Wow.
I know. So
That's
technically,
amazing.
if the magazine was a child, the magazine would already learn to read, would have a snotty nose, get into a lot of trouble. It's in a 6-year-old stage. You know how those 6-year-olds are.
Right.
They still need a
So
lot of things. You gotta feed it.
your wife comes home and she says, God said.
Yep.
Now, what was that like? Hearing that your wife heard from God to produce this magazine and you are standing with her. What was that like for you?
It was, well, I mean, when if anyone comes out and says, listen, I have this mission, be it God or be it whatever, if you feel it's your purpose, dude,
Hmm.
that's your thing,
Right.
right? And you'll know when they're serious about it.
Hmm.
Like there are some people someone's gonna come up to you one day and be like, Dr. Wong, I really think I should drive NASCAR. And you're gonna think they're crazy, but they're gonna come at you with that seriousness. You're gonna be like, you ain't bullshitting. So, okay, I got you.
Right.
I know nothing about NASCAR, but I got you. So, in
Hmm.
this case, when my wife came to me with a magazine, fortunately for her, I was already pretty versed in magazine production and
Hmm.
such. She didn't even know,
Hmm.
right? She didn't even know. It's one of those things I just didn't tell her about me,
Okay.
right?
Until the right time. You didn't tell her until the right
Yeah,
time.
at the right time. It's like talking Chinese. You don't tell that to everybody. You know what I mean? Just people who it makes sense to, right? Oh, you talk Chinese? See, don't tell me because I don't know any Chinese, right? You can make up whatever you want.
Don't tell anyone though.
You can't
Don't
fool
tell
me.
anyone.
I can't discredit that. You know what I mean? Right? So,
Wow.
yeah. So I believed in her, and it was right up my alley.
Hmm.
And yeah, she gave me a challenge to
Hmm.
create something. Now, granted, it's a Christian magazine,
Yes.
and we all have to be real. Not a lot of Christian stuff is really exciting and riveting and such. So my job was to make it exciting and riveting and
But
fun.
why do you think that? Why do you think Christians are not as exciting? Why do you think that?
Have you been to church lately?
No, we've been in COVID.
Oh, I don't know. I guess the last 30 years of me being in church, sleeping all that time, I guess that taught me something. It's not the most funnest place in the world. I mean, I
What do
understand.
you think it lacks? What do you think it lacks in terms of it being fun, as you describe?
What I think it lacks.
And not just my sex book.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We need to learn from your sex book like all the time. You guys got to go and buy it, man. Trust me. Really helped. Well, I not like I needed the help, but it just kind of boosted things for me and my
It
wife.
enhances. Okay.
What do I think church lacks?
Yeah, to make it excitable.
Okay, well, there's certain churches they know kind of to update themselves when it comes to young people, right?
Okay.
Get more in touch with the music, get more in touch with the lessons. I think it's real world lessons that is needed to get the attention of young people inside a church. If I was a kid and I was going to preach to myself,
Mhm.
right? I mean, it's one thing when you're hitting me with stories of Daniel and Jacob and those guys there back then. I understand that's what the fundamental lesson is, but
Mhm.
it would make a lot of sense if there were some more, I would say more examples, more current examples
Mhm.
of how to live,
Mhm.
right? Um, Practicality, more pragmatic ways and such. So I didn't really catch that growing up. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but I didn't really catch that growing up. Hence why you always catch me sleeping during song service all the way through until the pastor says, Amen. So
Oh
no,
wow.
but that's just how I was, man. It was the best place to catch up on my sleep. I'm sorry. It,
Listen, don't apologize for your experience.
this
This is
was not
about
an apology
expressing
in
your
any
truth, right?
capacity.
This is about expressing your
it,
truth. So
it's just, yeah, I was just there. My mom would always wonder, how do you fall asleep during song service? The loudest part of the day. But I'm sorry, I was there. And
wow. Well, again, this is your expression, right? And we're not here to take that from you. This is where
yeah,
you
don't
express
judge me.
yourself. No, not not on this platform. Not at all. So tell me a little bit about the other project that you are the founder of, the forreal.com. What is that about?
ForReal.com. I have to give the credit of that to my, my friend Peter, my brother, a lot of people growing up. I'm
Mhm.
an artist. I grew up being a comic book artist, visual artist, um, and I have a friend named Peter, greatest artist I've ever met. Awesome, awesome artist. And I became his, I would say mentor, not mentor, his apprentice.
Okay.
Right? And my work got a lot better. Now,
Hmm.
the thing was, I wanted to provide my artistic service, but the thing is, when you provide yourself as an artistic service, you're supposed to be open to handle all sorts of forms of art. People could hire you to do portraits, people could hire you to do illustrations, children's books, and such. I am more niched when it came to the hip hop, cartooning type of art.
Hmm.
So I needed something that's more authentic to myself. How the name came about was I went to my mom and I told her the exact same thing. And she says, yeah, you need something to represent you, something that's very authentic to you. And I said,
Hmm.
yeah, for real. And she says, yeah, that's it. And I'm like, what's it? She's like, you just said it. I said, what? You just said it, for real. And ever since then, in 1997 to now, forreal.com. For real.com, For Real Clothing Collection. And that's what it
Hmm.
was. It was, For Real is my artistic expression of who I am and what I am. And it has also helped shape me into what I am. It shaped me into my beliefs,
Hmm.
how I just carry myself, how I treat other people, right? It's it's just being for real. What is it? It's just it's evaluating yourself as
Hmm.
often as you can to be your authentic self.
Right.
That's hard for a lot of people for them to be their authentic self. So people are getting into it when they get
Hmm.
older, but
Right.
you have to ask yourself those questions. Why do I like this? Why do I feel this way?
Uh-huh.
Are you swayed by one person's opinion? Are you persuaded by another person's opinion? How do you personally feel about it? And
Right.
sometimes when you ask yourself these hard questions, you can't really find an answer.
Hmm.
Your answer is based off of someone else's answer, and you're just gonna have to keep on beating yourself up until you can answer these questions for yourself, right? And that's what being free is about. So free was mostly a tool for building myself, really.
Hmm.
Right?
And
It was,
how many years has been established?
oh my God sakes, 20 years, 20 long years from 1997 to now. No, that's longer than 20, 23 years. That's
Wow.
right. So that means that if my business was a kid, it'd be like leaving university, going off to frat parties and wearing pants down to their ankles and dumb shit like that there. I'd probably have to kick him out, right?
Okay.
But yeah,
So
that's 23 years.
I just saw a couple bits and pieces on your website. I saw these cartoon characters. Are so how do they come about? You got up, you had a dream in terms of how these personalities come to life. Where do you get the inspiration from?
Oh, you're looking at my drawings and such.
Yes, yes. I'm seeing
You know
this
what?
green head monster and I'm seeing something with a wings. And tell me a
I'm
little bit about that
I'm
because
heavily influenced. I'm heavily influenced by hip hop,
mhm,
right, and animation, cartoons,
okay.
right. The reason why for those two things is because for hip hop obviously was um, a voice for the people. You know,
Was? Do
yeah,
you think it still
it,
is?
it was a voice for the people. It was a specific voice for a generation,
Hmm.
right? There was a lot in hip hop that I have to give credit to. It had a bravado, a sense to it.
Do
Um,
you think it still has a voice?
if it does, man, I don't know. I think it's talking to idiots because the kind of hip hop that's out right now is complete garbage that I'm hearing. I think that the hip hop, there are some people who are still pure lyricists out
Hmm.
there,
Like
but
who? Like who?
well, okay. for me, I like to keep my ears open on what's the Boom Bap Nation. That's my favorite website. I work a lot, so it's not like I can keep my ear to the ground as often as I can. So I have my certain channels I do, like Boom Bap Nation would always feature some new kid from LA or some kid from Kansas or somebody, and they just could spit bars, just drop fire, man. And whenever I hear someone who's like pure lyrics, it just
Mhm.
fires up inside of me. There's that thing inside of me, that little rebel, that edgy feeling. Some cats know what I'm talking about, and that's what I put into my work. It's dynamic,
Mhm.
right? It's energetic. It has a full. It's full of life. It's something that's quick, fast, that can wake you up, and that's what I put into all my artwork. If you look at my artwork, I try to be as dynamic as possible.
So
Um,
are you inspired? Okay, so when you're drawing, are you being creative? Is it influenced by music as well?
music
Mhm.
mainly.
Mhm.
Music mainly. It's a rhythm I have when I am drawing, when I'm creating, when I'm doing the magazine. It's a particular type of rhythm that I got. It's this boom bap rhythm that I grew up with, you know,
Okay.
right? So that's how I feel. That's how I infuse all my work, and it helped me out so far. It keeps me true,
Mhm.
to myself,
So
right?
there is a comment that was posted in support of what you said that says that they agree that hip hop is garbage, and they put exclamation mark. It's nonsense and all about sex and degrading women, uh, and of course obtaining money. Do you agree with that comment?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, I do. Yes, I do. Now, here's the thing. Hip hop was when I was growing up. Hip hop was obviously an expressive art form, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I have my love for hip hop. What a lot of people didn't know was I also have a love for heavy metal rock, right?
Okay.
I don't tell my black friends that.
She don't tell nobody now.
It's like you talking Chinese. They're like, "What? I don't know what you're talking about." So, but the thing with when I would listen to hip hop, I would listen to all sorts. I would listen to everybody: Nas, Tupac, Biggie,
Mm-hmm.
um, Coogee Rap. I would listen to Rakim, and I just loved what I was listening to: the beat, the rhythm, the flow,
Mm-hmm.
the creativity of the lyrics. You get older, you begin to start listening to the lyrics, and I'll be honest with you: some lyrics would rub you the wrong way, some don't.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, ironically, here's a weird thing. I am not a Tupac fan at any capacity. I give him
Okay.
respect. I give him props at what he can do.
Right.
Best that's ever out there. One of the best. But
Right.
when I play Tupac, I'm like, this guy is way too negative for me. I'm not feeling
Okay.
it.
Okay.
At the same time, though, I will take off Tupac because of his negativity and put in Biggie. You know
Ah.
what I mean? So tell me what kind of contradiction train I'm on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's and only because I mean, I listen to Biggie, and people be like, well, he is no different, but it's just the way how he just flows. I just dig,
Right.
right? Um, so here's this interesting thing. Now that my son is 15, my two boys, they would listen to a lot of the stuff they watch is anime,
Mm-hmm.
and they would listen to YouTube videos of people rapping about particular anime cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm listening to this and I'm like, this is the dorkiest shit I've ever heard. You know what I mean? Like they're making raps for Dragon Ball Z for these anime cartoons, and my son like knows them all off by heart. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you, dude, you gotta listen to this guy and this guy and this. My son does not care to listen to any hip hop artist that exists right now.
Okay.
So I one day I decided to take out my MP3 player, start putting, playing my tracks.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm listening to what I was listening to, and I was like, wait a second, why am I giving my son grief for listening to hip hop that's rapping about, anime and games and whatever?
Mm-hmm.
And I just heard a whole bunch of, bitch, bitch, nigga, kill, shot, kill, dead, all that stuff there,
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to go back to my son. I'm like, yo, listen to whatever you want, dude. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because because you don't. I had to hear that type of stuff. I had no choice. But
Right.
the good thing is that people could take the ability to write bars and sick lyrics and put them to other forms of interest.
Right.
So will I say hip hop is garbage? Hip hop now could transcend to anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So wait, someone just had that. Just my opinion. They don't appreciate rap anymore. It's all about the money. No more love in it. Yeah, you know what? They don't because some of these kids who are rappers now, they grew up and they would watch like an R. Kelly poolside video, and so
Right.
they thought that's what hip hop was. You see,
Mm-hmm.
more hip hop purists would rely on to what's playing on the radio than what was on the video screen,
Right.
right? And of course, what's on the video screen is they're showing a fake lifestyle that
Mm-hmm.
kids thought was real. No one's telling them that these things are rented. These girls are like from some modeling agency who couldn't give these guys the time of day. They're at the poolside in the videos, jiggling their titties and stuff. But when the director says cut, they're gone. They're not hanging around Snoop or whatever. That's a job, and they leave. But some dumb kids are watching this stuff, think it's the gospel truth,
Mm-hmm.
and they grow up wanting to be a rapper visually,
Mm-hmm.
not artistically. And what happens is they go in front of the mic and they spit some garbage rhymes, some bullshit that just take this thing off. But they're proud of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because they have the look. It's some crappy look and whatever. So yeah, it's not a respected art form the way how it was originally.
What it is right now.
It's going backwards. It's like going from painting Picasso to doing finger paints of Cookie Monster. What is that? You can't.
But either way, it's some persons, they still find it to be art. It depends on the audience, right?
It depends on the audience, and I
Yeah.
think some of the audience members, to be honest with you, are getting pretty stupid, right? um, it's okay. One of the things that I have a hard time with is, and I'm going to try to make this very short and concise. So, any one of you young people who's watching this, pay attention to this. Okay,
Okay.
I'm trying to make this as bulletproof as possible. When Puffy came out with this track all about the Benjamins, right?
Right.
Back in '97 or so. The Locks had a verse. It was Jadakiss who had a line that says, "You should do what we do, stack chips like Hebrews." In which, before that album came out, Puffy's album, which was called Family or something like that, I can't remember. But the executives told Puffy that they cannot have the word Hebrews in it because it's stereotyping towards, of course, Jewish people. So even though that album had that explicit label, when you listen to that line, they block out the word Hebrews.
Mm.
However, keep on going further into the song, and you hear Lil Kim's verse and you hear Biggie's verse. I mean, there's niggas all over the place.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, these executives, they are on the ball to make sure that you can't say anything about Jewish people, but you can say nigger with all impunity as you want to, right?
Mm.
And a lot of these kids are not paying attention to that, right? So you kind of have to keep your ears open to what type of music, they're allowing you to listen to. It's these executives who's allowing bullshit to go on to the airwaves. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And it's just raising a whole bunch of kids who's tone deaf to actually what's good.
Well, as you said, you went through an experience. Chances are your mother went through her own genre, and your kids, they are experiencing their own genre. And it depends on who you ask. They would say, no, this is the type of music I like. So
Yeah, I know.
yeah, and you don't want to be a Debbie Downer in a sense to say don't do it because you actually went through that at that particular period. So it,
Yeah, I'm an old man now, huh?
oh gee, Alistair.
They're
Wow,
crap.
wow, Alistair, wow.
Look at me.
So we're about to wrap up, and I really I'm so grateful that you took the time to come and to be a part of the Now Talk Show.
I'm glad you had me.
I
I was
would
having
like
no time.
I just admire your real expression. That's really what the show is about. There's no filter within respect. There's no filter. So I'm just so happy that you took the time. I always say the time is the most important thing you can give to anyone. You took the time to come and have this now talk with us. And
Uh,
of course, beside every great man, there's a great woman. So I know Miss
here she comes. Here
I
she
would like to have her sit beside her boo, her Boaz, her soulmate. Hi, Tracy. Let's get her on camera. Come over a little bit more so we can see
comes.
those pimples.
I'll do what I typically
There
do,
we
just
are.
kind of fade out the way. Bye, Woody.
Oh, please come back, Alistair.
Welcome to the Tracy Show.
Alistair, I would like you to
Okay,
sit
I'm still here.
with I would like you to sit with your wife, Tracy. Thank you so very much for sharing Alistair for the few moments and allowing him just to express himself on the Now Talk Show.
Oh man,
Congratulations.
that was so hard. She was my sense of board just watching me. Just watching me with that button, like,
No,
nah, I'm just playing with you. No.
Congratulations on the magazine, the Soulful Image magazines. And I'm pretty sure there's some greater stuff to come. I know this. You have the magazine, is there a talk show in the wing, or give us a little bit more since you are as he says, it's God spoke to you. Give me a little bit more about what's next for the magazine that you guys are going to work on together.
Well, for the magazine, we have an upcoming issue with Laurel Langemeyer. She's
Okay.
the movie The Secret.
Uh-huh.
That's going to be coming out early July. And
Of this year, 2020.
This year, 2020.
Mhm.
Yeah. We also have a book that we're working on. For me, I'm doing a series of journals, so I'm coming out with something very shortly. My birthday
Okay.
coming up next month, so
That's our Christmas. Tracy's birthday is our Christmas. My birthday don't matter because
that's
it's in
not
March.
true.
No.
Well, it usually snows for his birthday.
My birthday has the shittiest weather. It has the crappiest weather, but hers is always the middle of summer. Awesome.
Yeah, my birthday's in the summertime. So
Okay.
And then we also have our anthology book that we came up with.
Let's get it. Let's get another clip of that, please.
So it's called Soulful:
Mhm.
Secrets of Faith, Love, and Walking in Purpose.
Right.
Which, both Alistair and I have written. We have our own chapters.
Mine is a very death-defying tale of how I actually came the man I am.
Okay. Okay.
So his chapter is really good. It's basically called Pursuing His Creativity.
Mm-hmm.
How his whole journey of being an artist and how it's brought him to where he is today.
Today, right.
So
Wow. Well, I know you guys are one unit. I've seen you guys together. I have the pleasure of working with you and, just having an awesome time with you guys. So I know that you guys are just getting ready to launch further, and I'm excited to get my copies. And should you need a space filler, I have another book coming out, so we'll talk about that one as well. Alistair.
Dr. Wong is being modest.
Okay, and so, ladies and gentlemen,
Also on the cover of Soulful Image magazine, because if it has anything to do with good sex, talk to Dr. Wong.
oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for
That's
joining
my
us.
endorsement to her. If your game is lacking, she'll come packing. So go to Dr. Wong at Alabaster Wellness and tell them, okay, and she'll give you some stuff that will get it up. I never had that problem, but for anything else, she could help you with that.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for being with us on the Now Talk Show with our guests, Mr. and Mrs. Should I say Alistair?
Nah.
Mr. and
No.
are we just
This is the most exposure I ever got ever. Everybody knows me, Mr. Chase.
okay? Well,
Do you know how much
ladies and-
people are seeing you for the first time like this? Like, wow. Everything is all about her. That's why I'm used to going like this.
Oh boy. Okay. As I said, thank you so very much for coming on the Now Talk Show. Alistair, we really appreciate your story. Thank you for sharing the trials, the triumph, and thank you so very much. I really appreciate your time. I would like to add the Now Talk Show is sponsored by the Alabaster Wellness Clinic. And we do offer a variety of treatments, clinical treatments. Should our guests or audience require counseling of some sort or wellness, our clinic offers complete wellness for the mind, the body, sensitivity, even the sense of spirituality as well. I'm not a medical doctor. We have a source of a team of professions that we're able to obtain complete wellness. So again, the program is sponsored by the Alabaster Wellness Clinic, and I thank you again for joining us on the Now Talk Show. Alistair, do you have a final word that you would like to say?
Well, first, I don't know if I'm sweating like James Brown here. I feel. What am I sweating a lot on this thing? I hope not. I guess I would say for my final words, like Jerry Springer, take care of yourself and each other.
Thank you very much.
Say that? Am I allowed to say that? That's not copyright infringement, is it?
You've already said it. You've already expressed yourself.
Whatever, Jerry. You can't do nothing about it. I already, it's mine now.
Thank you very much, audience who are watching from all different time zones. So good morning, good afternoon, hello, and good evening, and have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you again for joining us on the Now Talk Show.
Bye.
That's good.